Child safety is a very important issue in the United States. Stricter seatbelt laws are being passed, and bills have soon introduced to require helmets while riding skateboards, bicycles, and skates. Do we need more child safety laws, or should it be up to the parents?
Because of the work of students here at Batchelor Middle School and their encouragement in working with me, I introduced legislation in the past that would require that kids under the age of 16 would have to wear helmets for all wheeled sports. So be it skateboards, be it scooters, be it inline skating, on their bikes, whatever it would be, they would have to wear a helmet.
Kids, they definitely wouldn't wear helmets if it was a law, and I feel like that it would turn into more of a big deal of like the police or whatever enforcement and the skateboarders just getting into arguments and writing tickets and then parents getting angry. It just sounds like a bad ordeal that could lead to just a whole bunch of confusion, you know.
Head injuries occur with all three of those kind of things. It would devastate head injuries if you're on a motorized vehicle, motorcycle or ATV. They can be less serious on a bike or with a skateboard, but especially like with a bike, if you get hit by a car, it's just like, you know, riding in a car or riding on a motorcycle.
Well, there's a lot of dangers whenever you're not wearing a helmet. I mean, you could be either riding at a skate park or anywhere else and just easily slip off, hit your head, you know, do anything.
Unfortunately, Batchelor Middle School experienced a real loss when they had a student who was killed because he was on a skateboard and he wasn't wearing a helmet, and a helmet probably would have saved his life.
Going to the skate park like with the helmet, I think that you had to be like 5 or like 6 to do that, like if you're like just starting out. Because like if you're like just starting out and stuff, then like you don't probably know how to like do things yet.
As far as coming from an insurance standpoint, us mandating that a person has to wear a helmet or something like that, it'd be extremely difficult for us to do that. That would definitely have to be something that would have to be looked at through the law standpoint.
Unfortunately, I have colleagues in the Indiana General Assembly who believe that that decision should be only up to a parent. And it's not that we're trying to tell parents what they have to do with their kids, but we have found in trying to deal with legislation and laws within the state of Indiana, most people believe that if there's no law, then it must not be important. And also, in understanding students and how children think sometimes, it's almost easier for a parent to say, you are going to wear your helmet because it's the law, and I don't want you to get in trouble, and I don't want to get in trouble. So we're trying to really assist parents and helping them make clear to their children why helmets are so important and they should be wearing them.
I think that you should not be allowed access into the skate park if you don't have a helmet. So I think that would alleviate even having to safeguard against findings. There are skate parks that do require that.
Well, there is a bill going through the Indiana General Assembly right now. It's my hope that by the time the production is finished of this show, that we will have a bill sitting on the governor's desk and that he'll be able to sign this into law. Current Indiana law says that folks sitting in the front seat, so it would be the driver and the passenger, have to be in a seatbelt. We also have an Indiana law that if you are riding in a pickup truck or any vehicle plated as a truck, you're exempt from all seatbelt laws as far as adults.
The other thing that it does is that it has a requirement in the bill to have a 10-year-old crash test dummy, because right now we don't have crash test dummies that represent children of that age, and it's very, very important. There are several other provisions, one of which I think is really probably one of the most important. It has a study provision for built-in child restraints, including booster seats. Booster seats are seats that lift children up into the seatbelt, into the adult seatbelt, so that the seatbelt fits much better. And that's what the problem is right now. We have a lot of children riding in either restraints or no restraints, and they're not being protected.
So we're not basing it on height and weight. We're using age in our law because typically a 4 to 8-year-old is going to be between 40 and 80 pounds, and it's going to probably be shorter than 4'9".
If you're supposed to be in a car seat and you're not, I think the way the laws are set up with seat belts, that, you know, if you're supposed to, you know, that if you're in a car and you're not in your seat belt, you can get fined that way. I think the restraint of a child in a car seat should probably be similar to that, otherwise it's inconsistent. So yeah, I would say if legally you're supposed to be in a car seat and you're not, somebody should be fined. I don't think the kids should be fined. It'd be hard for them to pay it, but I do think the person responsible for putting them in the car without proper restraint probably should be fined.
If you don't wear a seatbelt in a car or any vehicle, there's a huge chance that you're going to be killed. If a child is not in a proper restraint, death is not so much what's going to happen, but serious permanent injury. When we talk about serious permanent injury, we're talking about injury to their internal organs, or some type of serious head injury, or a spinal cord injury. This young child could end up being a quadriplegic or a paraplegic the rest of their life.
You know, I don't know how many of you at home have ever fallen out of a tree when you were younger, or fallen off your bicycle while doing something you probably shouldn't have been doing, riding wheelies or riding on the front tire. You know, kids are kids, and they're going to participate in activity that's a little bit higher risk than what I'm going to participate in at 46. So I think we have to be very careful when we begin taking parents out of the safety equation for their children, because again, they're ultimately responsible. I don't particularly want to live in the nanny state, and I think that's where you're headed when you start trying to legislate parental responsibilities for their own children. Most of what we've done today is already institutionalized neglect by taking the parents so far out of the equation in so many different areas that they no longer feel they have a responsibility nor the right to make those types of decisions for their own children.